Hi, my name is Alan from Hawkdive and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the best config for Apex Legends so that you can get the highest amount of FPS and performance that you can get in the game without doing some upgrades on your hardware. It's all about the software right here. So, as you can see, I'm currently on Apex Legends, and if I go and hop into the firing range, because it is kind of like our default basis of what things can be, because it's the only controlled environment that we have. But right now, as you can see, my Apex is currently at around, my Apex is capped at 120 FPS on usual, but as you can see right now, I am only hitting around 85 consistently without the 100 barely working. As you can see, I have to look all the way up to the sky because that's going to give me the highest amount of FPS. But if I were to be in this type of range, as you can see, I'm only hitting around 70 FPS, and I don't think that is really that high, you know. So what do we do? How can I get that FPS way up, maybe at around 144 if that's possible for my system? The base FPS of my system, which is the RTX 2060 and the Ryzen 5 3600, would be around about 120 FPS. That's kind of the range, especially if I am recording at 1080p. Right now I'm recording at almost double the FPS because I'm also recording my head, the face cam right here. So how do we do it? How do we increase the FPS? Of course, the first step we're gonna do and look forward to would be the in-game settings. So if I go right now to my settings, video settings, I'm currently on my native resolution and everything is almost at the highest. What can this do? What if I just simply go and turn everything off? Like, I just put everything to the lowest. NVIDIA Reflex should be on because the NVIDIA Reflex would, again, if you guys have watched my Valorant about the config and FPS as well, this might lower down your PC a little bit, just a tiny bit, like use it a bit more, like your CPU processing power a bit more to have it reduce the system latency, which will increase your game responsiveness, because it is buffering the image at the right way. So yeah, let me go and minimal everything, disable everything. FOV, I would keep mine at the 110 FOV because that is, my usuals, and that's what I like to play with. So I lowered down my game settings, and as you can see, that instantly bumped me into 121. You know what? Let me restart the game for you without the whole FPS max that you're seeing right now on the screen. So give me a moment. So here you go. I have restarted the game with the max FPS on off. And as you can see, my current highest FPS, I was reaching around 117. The storm is rumbling right now. Hopefully the power doesn't go off until I finish this full tutorial. As you can see, I am currently reaching around 144 with just me and turning down some system settings. And I am recording again. This is not my normal FPS that I would be getting. I would probably be getting higher if I were to turn off every single settings that or like, processing power that my PC is using. Because right now I'm also recording on almost 4K or more, because it's a widescreen recording with my face in it and the game on the other side. But as you can see, just turning down the settings, big major differences. What else can you do to make it better? Well, the first thing that I would suggest is to overclock. We don't have to close the game for this. So all you have to do is visit Brave, your trusted browser. You want to go and search for MSI Afterburner, which is right here. This is overclocking of your graphics card. We're not going to dive into overclocking your RAM or CPU because those are much more advanced than this thing would allow us. If you just download this, going to be popping up with the MSI Afterburner. Install this, open this, and then you're going to be seeing the screen. So I closed it earlier, but I think it reopened anyway. But right now I do have mine set to 140 and 140. Where did I get this digit? Well, I used to overclock my graphics card and I was able to find the perfect limit of my graphics card before it crashes the whole system. No worries, your system would not be fried as long as you don't touch the core voltage, which is usually locked anyway. So that is cool. But what if you don't know and you don't have the time to test out the benching, whatever? Well, all you have to do is press this search icon with the C on it. This is the overclocking scanner feature. You just press scan and it's going to do its own thing from the bottom up top if just before your system crashes. So that would already give us some differences. As you can see right now on the top right of the screen, at some point I am now reaching around 170 and 180 without even trying. So that is cool. That is cool and I like that. But what if I can do better? What if there's more things that you can do to, increase the FPS? Because that's what we want to do in games. We want to get the highest amount of FPS. The next option that I'm going to be talking about would be outside of the game. Well, it is technically still inside the game, but it is a little bit outside the game. Here, let me show you. If I just go and exit out of the game, go into return to lobby, press yes, I'm going to be showing you something that is called disable full screen optimization because it's a thing. Okay, what I want you to do is head over to start menu, search for Apex Legends, go into open file location, go and right click the shortcut, and you're going nowhere because it's not going to show you unless it is installed on your origin or EA launcher. But I use Steam, so I'm going to open up Steam here. I'm going to go and head over to library. I'm going to go and right click Apex Legends, go into properties, go into local files, and then go into browse. And the thing that I want to do here is find r5 apex.exe. By the way, you can now run Apex Legends using DirectX 12, but I still don't recommend it, especially for lower end system, because it might just crash, because it did happen to me once. So r5 apex.exe is the only one that we're going to be switching up. So right click that, go into compatibility, go into change settings for all user, and disable full screen optimization. Press apply. That should apply a little bit more FPS to the game and smoothness because it doesn't have to have extra processing. Now, let's head over to the launch options. Go into, again, Apex Legends, properties, launch options, go to general, and right here, the launch options. This is currently what I have in mind. But what I do suggest is adding these specific commands on your launch options. So let me talk about you every single one that thing that I have in my launch options. The first one, which is plus exec auto cfg, we're going to be talking about that in a bit because that is an auto exec file. It means when the game launch, it prompts all the code before the game even starts. Now dash dev just allows for a little bit more FPS. It's just a thing. It just disables some stuffs. Plus Miles language English should not bother you. Don't even think about that. I created another article for that about if you want to do a different language audio and a different text language. Don't bother with that. It's just mine. It doesn't change any performance. But this next settings for change performance. Dash preload preloads all the data so that you don't have to. It's not scattered anymore when you have to load it in while playing the game. It reduces hitching and yeah, dash high just basically it still sometimes works, but it does not 100% necessarily work anymore. Dash high used to allow Apex to run at a high level over the other program, so it's going to get more priority for the processing. Plus FPS max 0 just did what I did earlier, which is not capping the frames of Apex Legends. Dash no vid removes the starting no vid or starting screen, whatever. Dash full screen allows Apex to run at full screen, and DX level 95 just allows for DirectX optimization. So that is cool, but we're not going to launch Apex yet because I want to talk about this thing at the start, which is called the auto exec. Now to get that, go over into local files and head over into browse. Now that you're in the browse, you want to go and head over to CFG. And as you can see, I do have an auto exec file right here. Now, there are some things that I want to talk about. You may already have this, you may not, but over on this video, I'm going to show you something, which I'm going to show you right now. Okay. So basically, if you do have a computer, you can download these files that I would provide if possible on the description below, or better yet, check out the article on the description just so you can see the specific files that I have. So there are two files, video config and auto exec. Let's first start with the video config. So this video config basically executes a lot of data to be lowered. It basically is the lower version of the lowest possible settings in the game. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to right click it, head over to properties, go into read only so that the game, whenever it launches and prompts this option, it doesn't change whatever value is in it, because those are not the default lowest values in the game. This is lower than the lowest default value. So what I want you to do is change something in here depending on your game. So usually I would play Apex Legends in a much lower resolution, such as 1680 by 1050. So I would like to change that, but okay, give me a moment because I already set it to read only. So here, I gotta finish this video because it's already raining heavily and I don't want to have this video pending. So I'm gonna set my resolution, which is 1680 by 1050. This is a 16 by 10 resolution. So that means it's going to be stretched when I open the game later on. But that's the only part that I wanted to change. Press Control S, press exit, and now we can do read only so that the game doesn't change that. The next thing would be the auto exec. If I open auto exec right now, as you can see, there's a lot of different options right here. There's a lot of different options in it. And this is all for performance. This is everything for lowest video quality with the highest FPS. So what I want you to do actually is copy everything, maybe except this part right here, and paste it over to auto exec file. So I'm gonna do right click, copy, and then from here, I go back to the Apex Legends that I have installed. I'm gonna open the auto exec file, and I'm gonna paste everything that I see in here, or replace everything that I have with my own auto exec file towards the things that I have in here. So give me a moment. Okay, let me see everything. So everything is good and all. As you can see, we have everything set. Now all I have to do is press Control S. I can now quit this tab. I can now right click auto exec on my main file and go into read only. So I forgot to show you guys that how can I put the video config on my own video config. So basically it is located at right here at saved games on your documents folder, and then head over to respawn or save games, respawn Apex local. That's where you're gonna see the config, video config. If you don't want to delete your video config, you can just head over and go into dash video config, and you can paste the new video config that we have just downloaded or created. The 1680 by 1050. Now what I'm gonna do is head over into my Windows machine because I've already changed the resolution that I want. So I'm going to go and head over here and change the actual resolution 1680 by 1050. Now on your screen right now, this might look a little weird with a black screen, black bar on the side, but for me, it is amazing and it is stretched. Now, after doing everything that I talked about, we can now reopen Apex Legends once again. As you can see, it took a little more time on loading this time than before because it is now initializing the new settings that we have applied on the configs and all the new stuff that we have done in Apex. So as you can see, straight up, we're currently reaching 200 on just the main menu. So one thing that I would like to suggest is to never open the settings folder or settings on the game menu. Because if you do change something in there, you would have to restart the game to reprompt all the config that we've done. But anyway, let me hop onto the firing range and show you the FPS increase that we may have gotten. Remember, we're reaching around 170, 180 before. But now I do have the config on, and let me see how smoother it is. Honestly, I'm feeling like it is just a tiny bit smoother, but I do have more programs open because I was showing you more stuff than earlier. So let me try to see things. Honestly, it is working more chill right now for me. As you can see, 240 frames right there, 330, We are working fine. Wait, sorry about that. We are working fine. 280, and it is less jittery. It is a lot more smoother than what it was earlier. You know what? I can play with it. As you can see, though it is stretched, because that's the resolution that I like, it is playable with the FPS that is higher than my usual FPS would ever be. As you can see, we almost reached, that's almost double the FPS. We have 280 FPS right now. That is just insane. That is just amazing. And that is with the video config settings that we have right now. But yeah, we can hop onto a real match, show you what it is like to have the FPS or the config file as it is. Here we go. Right now we are currently at 90 FPS because this is now the whole game. But if you guys have seen my previous gameplays of Apex Legends with just the normal settings on, I would never be able to reach 130 FPS within this actual like landing right now. Like while I land and skip the other players, I would not be able to reach 200 or more. So here we go. We're just gonna drop it in. It's like, he should have taken the gun. But as you can see how smooth the game is running right now. That is me with while recording something that I won't usually record in a way while I am, you know, playing in a game such as Apex Legends.
We made the right choices. That kill was fantastic. Reloading.
As you can see, it is really smooth right now, and I got into the game. Even though I'm recording, I'm currently hitting 270 frames per second on this part of the map, which is just nuts. I would not be able to usually recreate this amount of FPS while recording like this on OBS. I guess that would be it for me in this video. My name is Alan from Hawk Dive, and check out our social medias on the description down below. And yeah, see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.